Hi guys, we'll be starting with the session where we will be just learning how to create a resume from scratch using Google Docs. So the very first step, what we need to do is we need to open a doc. You can use simply the URL as mentioned on the screen, that is doc.new by going into the URL section. Once you just put it, this is how something it will be looking like. So the very first step is going to be we will be adjusting the indents and the margins. So if you're able to see on the screen the blue inverted triangles, I'll try to zoom it for you guys. So what we need to do is we need to drag it to minus 1.50. Proceeding further, we'll take the right one as well and we will take it to 17.50. Proceeding further, there will be the top margin section. You can simply just move it as much as you want for the spacing. We need to make sure that our resume looks a very sophisticated one with least images possible. The reason is fairly simple. It's because of ATS. So ATS find it's difficult to process the complex images. So we will try to keep it as textual as possible. So the very first thing what we need to do is we need to enter our introductory details. Now, what are introductory details? They can be your name, your email ID, your contact number, your LinkedIn ID, your GitHub repository, your Behance or Dribble, depending upon from what domain are you from. Or simply what we can do is we can create our portfolio websites. You can use WordPress or any other tool, and you can display your URL of the portfolio website over in the introduction section as well. That looks like you are actually putting efforts to get a job or you are different from other people. So the very first step is going to be that we will be increasing the font size now. So we will keep the font size around 20 and then we will put it at center line. Now, this time, let us say I'll be creating a resume. For example, let's just understand a hypothetical situation that I am currently a student of MBA, pursuing MBA from XYZ college, and I'm a final year student. This is currently, so when we are recording, it's October 2024, and my MBA is going to get completed in next year, which means I'm a final year student, right? And my specialization is marketing, and I want to explore, uh, let us say, a domain which is called sales or the marketing itself. Previously, I did engineering from again ABC University. You can choose it like a mechanical engineering or civil engineering or computer science. So it's just for a reference. So I this is my story. I did my engineering, then I am doing my MBA, and previously I have got like, let us imagine an experience of one internship so far into my MBA and one internship in my engineering degree I have completed so far. So I'm having two internship experiences. Proceeding further, let us assume that I'm having one major project which I have done so far, and I got two certifications. So a basic scenario I have created, like usually this is how it looks like for an MBA student. Even if you are a bachelor student, feel free because the template is going to be very similar, the content is going to be very similar, and I'll try to keep it as basic as possible for people to understand. Now, when we have done it center aligned, what we will do, we will just simply write our name. Let us say my name is Mohit. So I'll simply put my name at the top. I'll bold it. Now I'll hit enter and I'll go to the next line and I'll reduce the font size to 40. Oh, so we can check if you are having a long name, we can proceed further by reducing the font size. Because this line we need to keep strictly under one line itself. So we do not need to put it to two lines. Now the formatting is going to be looking very bad. So proceeding further, what we will do, for example, I am staying in Delhi. So what I'll do, I'll write first my city where I'm located currently. I'll write Delhi, and for India, I will write IN. I do not need to enter the entire India. The reason is it's fairly simple. IN means India. Now I'll hit two times space or one time space as well, depending upon how much word length we are going to gather. Then I'll head into this symbol. So again, one single space. This is a time when I will be writing my email ID. For example, my email ID is mkatyan@gmail.com. Perfect. Now I'll hit a space, and with that note, it will again, I'll enter this thing. Now it's time for me to enter my LinkedIn URL. So in my LinkedIn URL, again, I'll go to my LinkedIn, and what I'll do, so that's how I'll just show you that as well on my screen. So we will be going to LinkedIn, we'll be coming to our home screen, and we will copy our URL. We'll come back to this page and we'll write our username. For example, my username is Mohit underscore or Mohit, then Kadyan. And I'll select this text and I'll put a link and I'll paste my user link over here. So it's hyperlinked now. Next thing what I need to mention over here is the most important one. That is my phone number because I want recruiters to reach out to me. So for that, I'll be using this and I'll put it like that. +91. What's going to be your code? You can simply put it. So if we are able to see on the screen right now, what happens is my space is almost going to get over. So even if I let us say put my number 807652 and I'll put XXXX over here. So if you're able to see, I am not left with much of the space. What I'll do in that case is I'll simply select the entire content. We'll try to reduce size. Now, if I'm able to see, yes, my entire content is now lined. There's one more thing always what we can do to make a recruiter feel special is we can always select our number and we can enter by going into insert link, and there is a URL called wa.me, then backslash, you put your number, whatever your number is, and you click on apply. Now as soon as anyone is going to click over this URL, they will be directly redirected to your WhatsApp. Now, see how it's easy it's going to be for a recruiter. They want to get in touch with you, they clicked on the number, and now they are redirected to your WhatsApp. They can simply text you, "Hi, Mohit, we are looking for a job. Are you interested?" or something. So that's how you initiate with it. But there's just one catch over here. To make it more interesting for the users, that is the HR, because who are the end users of our resume? The human resource people, the people who will be shortlisting us. So sometimes it is always said that any HR will usually take 3 seconds to read whether you are eligible or not. And believe me, when I have screened like almost more than 2000 of resumes while hiring for different profiles, what I see is whether the person is eligible or not by looking that what is their domain. So for example, uh, what if I write over here as marketing specialist? Because if you remember what I said, I'm doing MBA and I want to go into the marketing domain. I'll reduce the size. Let's keep it 15. I'll unbold. And now my resume is able to give me a fair idea that this person is a marketing specialist. Now the HR will just quickly see what actually your subheading is. So my name is Mohit Kadyan. I'm a marketing specialist who is residing in Delhi right now. My email is this, my LinkedIn is this, my phone number is this. The actual meaning of the entire resume is now conveyed, and it's very easy. A foolproof introduction which is having almost all the relevant details. And see, believe me, when you write your father's name, your mother's name, your date of birth, your gender, your sex, those things are not required in an introduction. These are the very fair things. So if you are a tech person, okay, so let us say you are an engineering grad, or you are doing Behance, or you are a designer, so your Behance or dribble profiles matter. What we do in that case, we can remove the location, not required as much, and we'll put our, let us assume, GitHub. My GitHub username as again Mohit. I'll select it, I'll insert link, and I'm done. As simple as that. But for now, since I'm not a tech person, what I'll do, I'll remove the GitHub and I'll enter my location once again. So it's Delhi, India, this symbol, and we are all set. Once we are done with the state, so once you are done with writing your mobile number, what you will do, you come to insert, And when you are going to come to insert, click on this horizontal line. So this line is actually going to separate your introduction part to the rest of it. Now, as previously discussed, how ATS functions usually. So ATS is going to fetch keywords from the resume, and we only need to mention the sections which can contain the right amount of keywords in the most important manner. And so to do the very same, what we are going to do is we will be adding one section. So usually I follow this practice, and it's totally your choice whether to do it or not. If you are from a tier one institute, uh, you can assume any tier ones, like you are from IIMs and any top-notch private university. Feel free to mention your college at the top, which means your the section which will be coming over here will be called as education. You can always increase the size of this subheading. You can bold and you can put education. But I see that in majority of the Indian students are not in tier one, which is okay. There is no issues with that. There are going to be no problems if you are skilled enough and you are a hardworking individual. What we will do, we will simply start with our skills. To a person who's a fresher, there are two important skill set which we always need to mention. So I'll hit enter. I'll put it to left align. The first one is going to be soft skills. I'll reduce my font size over here. It's 14. I'll put it to 12. So I'll be putting my soft skills, and those can be, let us say, communication. So I'm just giving you for example, communication is going to be my skill, time management is going to be a skill, leadership, let us say, I'll be choosing as a skill, or decisiveness is what I'm going to choose, or simply you can say quick decision making is what I'm choosing as a skill. If you are having long set of skills, feel free to use another line. For example, let us say I want to enter my soft skill as a team player too. I'll be adding team player, then proceeding further, assuming, let us say, what's going to be my next soft skill. Assertiveness is going to be my soft skill, or any other skill which is coming into your mind. You can just simply enter it. For example, for now I'm putting XYZ, so you can choose with respect to your domain. So in marketing, you need to be having communication as a skill, which is going to be very important. You need to be an observer, a keen observer, so I'll put observer as a soft skill as well. Hard skills is now next what we will be covering, so I'll be just using hard skills. I'll bold it. What are hard skills? Hard skills are basically what all tools you know. For example, majority of the people know what is MS Office. So I'll put MS Office as my hard skill. Imagine you also know how to design using Canva. You put Canva as a soft skill. Sorry, hard skill. You say you also know Power BI. You are putting Power BI as a hard skill. Or you also know how to handle CRMs. That is one of the most major is HubSpot. That's how you put hard skills. Once you are done with it, what we need to do is simply hit next line, or by just ending this last word, again come to insert and then click on horizontal line. So one of the most important sections, that is the skill section, is being completed, where we are able to fetch many keywords. If you are a tech person now, so in tech, there can be one more section which can be included, that is languages slash framework. If you want to enter, yeah, you can simply do this very same. I'll For languages, let us say you know C++, you know Python, there's going to be Java, JavaScript, whatever they are. You can just simply put your languages, frameworks, tools, whatever they are going to be for tech. As simple as that. So what I'll do, I'll just bold it. Proceeding further, once we are done with the hard skills section, now it's time for us to let people know what we have actually accomplished into the industry and how we are going to do that. So we will be entering our next section. I'll again put it to center align. I'll increase the font size. It's work experience time. So I'll write another section name, that is work experience. No matter whether you are having any internship experience or let us say even so, I've seen people they pay to get an internships. Feel free. Just you can put it out here and work experience section. How we go ahead, we put it to left align, decrease the font size. Let us say 12, which is our standard font size. So what are we going to do now? So very first thing, whatever we will be writing is going to be the title of the internship. Now, what was my title of the internship? So imagine I worked as a sales intern. Then again the very similar symbol, and I work with XYZ Private Limited. My location, now it's time for you to enter location. Now it is an optional part whether you want to put it or not. If it was remote, feel free to write remote, or if it was work from office, then what you can say, you can write on site. Or what you can also do, you can also write the place, let us say Bangalore. Now it's time for us to define from which time and which time period we actually worked. So imagine I worked from June 2024 to July 2024. So I did an internship for 1 month. Once I'm done with it, I'll hit enter. And now we are going to actually define what all things we have done so far. There's one little change over here. So if you are a tech person, okay, so you are coming from an engineering background or you are an engineer, to give you good scores, tools slash technologies is what you will need to use. So you can just italics it to stand it out. And let us say in this internship, I learned about C++, Java, or I utilized Python. You can simply do it like this. Okay, so tools and technologies. But right now it's going to be for a management student. I'll remove it and I'll now start adding the bullet points. Bullet points by default are going to be at the initial part. So again, we'll choose left indent. Wherever you just want to place the pointer, you can. Now, we need to define what we actually did in this internship. So the most important part, how you are going to be differentiated from other people, or how you want to be sound as a unique creature, how you want people or HR to believe in you is by adding numbers. So I'll explain you this scenario by giving you two examples. Imagine there's one friend of you who comes to you and who always brag about himself and says, "यार hey Mohit, तेरे को पता है bro, I'm very rich." But he haven't ever explained how, why, and all those parts. On the contrary, you have another friend of you. Imagine like there's Priya. Priya comes to you and Priya says to you, "Yeah, Mohit, I'm doing decent with my life. I got three cars. I'm having a Range Rover. I'm having a Mercedes with me, and I'm having a Fortuner as well. I'm owning three cars right now. I recently bought a flat in, let us say, Mumbai, 3 BHK, a sea facing one." When numbers are involved into your pointers, they make more sense. They are able to tell that yes, whatever you are telling it's authentic. Your content is authentic in nature. So I've seen people writing like, "I was a team leader." No, you do not need to just do it like this. So while writing resume, always make sure that we are starting majority of our sentences with an action verb. What are action verbs? Action verbs, any word on behind of it, if you are able to just put ed, that's the simplest explanation I can give, because that's how you need to start your sentences. It can be worked, it can be analyzed, it can be developed, created, curated, designed. Any word at the back where you are able to put ed or let can be an action verb. Words which defines an action, that's how you need to start, and make sure your majority of the pointers, 80 to 90% of your pointers contains quantification. When I say quantification, it means numbers. Now, just to explain how I will be writing sales interns at XYZ Private Limited Bangalore. So I'll just recognize how my entire day used to look like. So I used to go to office every single day. I had a target to, let us say, complete 50 sales calls which were given by the company itself. I used to call all 50 of them. There were, let us say, all in average, there were 10 TNRs which I used to find out. I used to recall them on the next day. So the total volume used to come to 60. Uh, my product price was assuming was 2000 rupees, and every single day I was able to convert my 5 sales leads. So the total revenue generated per day was around 10,000. I was working 6 days a week. I did an internship for 1 month. So 6 days, and there are, assuming there are 30 days in a week. I'll simply multiply it by 4, and I'll be able to get, I total generated a revenue of 2,80,000 rupees in 1 month, where I worked with a team of 10 people. Amazing. Now I got pointers with me to define what I actually did. So, what are the pointers? What are the numbers? First number, I worked in a team of 10 people. I called 50 leads per day, including 10 DNRs. My product price was 2000 rupees, giving me a sum of, per day, you multiply 2000 by 5, that is my conversion, that is 10,000 rupees sales per day. Now you can add more authenticity to it by adding like which particular areas you targeted. Were you targeting the audience in entire India, or were you targeting audience only in one state? Let us say you are a Maharashtrian, or you are a Marathi person, you are only liable to generate sales through Mumbai. So the sales leads which you are getting are from Mumbai itself. So you can always mention that you were only responsible for taking sales leads and sales calls based on the Maharashtra region. So that's how we need to define. Now, once we are able to get these numbers, for now, since it's a session on how to create a resume using AI. So what we need to do is we need to just write the pointers here, and we will try to make them understand like what actually we have accomplished so far. Don't worry if you are having or not having very good hold on English, it's okay, because at the end we will be using chat GPT to rephrase it for us, to create it and to sound like we have done wow amazing things into our past. So for example, I will start by writing like worked on customer acquisition in Maharashtra region of India, calling 50 sales or 50 leads. Now my conversion rate is 10%. So what I can say, converted 10% of the total leads per day with an average ticket price of INR 2000, generated a total revenue of, now simply let us say I worked for 28 days or 26 days. In 26 days, what I'm going to do is I will be multiplied by 2000. So what's going to be my total revenue of 3.2 lakhs. Or if you want to just go in million billions, feel free, you can use that codes as well. INR in my total duration of internship. I can enter one more pointer stating what all I learned. So explode and resolved conflicts over calls of customers and provided a good experience. So for now, I have entered 1, 2, 3, 4 pointers. If you feel like still the 4 pointers are not enough, feel free to enter a fifth one. What can be the fifth one into a sales internship? whatever, like simply we can talk about the sales, we can talk about the lead generation, or worked, let us say, on the principle of ida. I believe marketing, if you're a marketing personality, you'll be knowing already ida. Worked on the principle of ida and performed or stayed, let us say we will be showing our achievement at the top of sales chart, generating whatever your number was, like per day generating 10,000 INR revenue consistently or consecutively, whatever you feel is right. Consecutively is what I'm going to write. Okay, so I'm done with my work experience, which I done recently. Now we will be going in a reverse order. So we called it a reverse chronological order. Our recent experiences is what we are going to put in at the top. So what I'll be doing is I'll be now moving to my another internship. Now, what is my another internship? Again, I'll keep this left indent to minus 1.50. So this internship which I'm going to talk right now is going to be about my engineering part. So I did mechanical engineering, let us say. And into that mechanical engineering, what I did was I did a design internship using AutoCAD. My organization name is ABC Private Limited. My location was remote. Now I'll bold it, and then I'll be just going ahead with my the experience when I did it, when this internship was there. So again, I did it in my summers itself, June 2022 to, let us say, August 2022 itself. So I'll use simply space bar to keep it at the rightmost to segregate, and simply you can also do the very same to look, just to make it look good. Now once we are done with it, we'll come to next line. We'll turn on the bulletins again, and this time I will be writing about my AutoCAD or my design internship. But is it relevant to mention it when we are creating a resume for marketing? No, because will we be able to get keywords? Nope. So what we can do in that case is try to grab more internships into the marketing domain, or I suggest you elaborate more of your major projects. But right now, I am just showing you because how to create it on a very basic level is what we are going to talk about right now. Proceeding further, we'll be able to optimize it according to the job descriptions as well, what we are going to discuss on a later stage. Now, this design internship using AutoCAD, ABC Private Limited, remote. So design intern can be the title using AutoCAD, or so over here the tool is AutoCAD. Is it available in my hard skills? No. So what I'll do is I'll enter AutoCAD as my hard skill. Design intern using AutoCAD, ABC Private Limited, remote. Now क्या किया, what I actually did in internship. So when I use AutoCAD, what all things I can do? I can design various components that are going to be spare parts of any vehicles or vehicles as well, machine components. So I'll be writing design. So very first can be the word can be designed 50 plus mechanical components in a time frame of whatever your time frame was. Let us say you did it in 22 days. So wow, amazing achievement. You were able to do almost 2.5 part per day. Good, 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 very good. Proceeding further, once I am designed, so in AutoCAD or SolidWorks, when we use, there is another component, or there's another feature called where you are able to stimulate the exact component. So usko we call it into our real time as a simulator. So if you know it, good. If you do not know, koi problem nahi hai. There's no issue at all. So what we will be doing is worked, let us say, with 250 plus variations of whatever your tools or whatever your different types of shapes or components were there. So let us say I am writing worked with 250 variation of shapes and tools. So whatever your tools were, look, SolidWorks is a complex software. You can go ahead with it 250, 50, whatever things you do. So 50 plus variations of shapes and tools, making my research, or let us say, let's go. We will do it. Worked with 50 plus variation of shapes and tools to make my designs sophisticated. I'll simply use it. You can use any other word too. So usually I'm not from an engineering background, so I'm just trying to help people uh, how to actually put your code sections. And you can just try to enter the names of your mechanical components like worked on, or try if you are able to find good keywords, good action verbs which are not getting repeated. So we can write curated Geneva mechanism for whatever your total part is, like for an assembly. So Geneva mechanism, we can also put it at how much pace you were able to develop it under 2 days. Wow, achievement for you if you are able to put it like that. Or any other thing which is related to your AutoCAD, what you're working as, or just worked on 12 plus assemblies with a team of whatever your team was in an internship. Usually, you are not going to be the only one working on it. So, let us say team of 4 people. Okay, there are 4 pointers done. Now we will be going ahead with our next pointer, and in the next pointer, you can talk about the tools, you can talk about your experience, or if you just want to go ahead with four. So we need to make sure that there is a consistency. If you have written 5 pointers in your first work experience, make sure in the second experience too, you are writing your 5 pointers only. So it looks good. No logic behind it. But if you are using four at the start, four at the in the second one, it shows you consistency. So over here, I'll be just again, we can use any action verb. Any action verb can be designed, word, curated, or this time I'll use developed. So developed an model, or developed a model of, let us say, Tesla X as a special project under the guidance of 3 mentors, and worked on its aerodynamics. Cool, we are done with the 5 part. Now we are able to get an achievement as well, that on real time basis I worked on the model of Tesla X, a car, and I was working under 3 mentors. So I'm able to tell people now what I actually did into my entire work experience, or into entire uh, internship. Now, what is going to be next thing? After full stop, click on insert, put horizontal line, because we are done. We are done with the experience section. Again, if we are able to see, our left indent is again at the default setting, put it to 1.50. The right one stays exactly where it should be. We'll go to center align. This time we will be writing projects. So in projects, what I'll be doing is I'll be bold the projects. I'll increase the font size to 14. And once I increase the font size to 14, it's time for me to now talk about my major project. So into my MBA, assuming I worked on SWOT analysis is going to be the name of my project. So SWOT analysis on any company, let us say XYZ company. I'm not mentioning any company. You can choose any major project, whatever you have done so far. It can be SWOT analysis of a company, it can be analyzing digital marketing trends, it can be your growth strategies behind a company. For now, I'm just for the dummy sake, I'm using the title as SWOT analysis for an XYZ company. I believe each one of you will be knowing what SWOT analysis is. It's strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. We want to identify how a company is performing and how they can grow it in future. So again, done with the title, then what I'll do, I'll be putting my dates now, when actually I completed this project or what was the duration. So assuming the entire duration for my major project was 2 months again, and I did it in my MBA first year. So this is my second year, which is 2024. So I'll be most probably doing it in what time? June 2023 to July 2023. Good job. Now we have written this as well. Proceeding further, again, it's going to be the very same step. We'll be using the pointers, left indent to match the above part. Now we will be writing what actually we accomplished in the project. Again, the writing style is going to be very similar. What that is, we'll be starting with an action verb. We will try to enter numbers into the pointers so that we are able to make people believe whatever we say, whatever we write in the resume. So proceeding further, let's just elaborate and discuss what usually I can do in SWOT analysis of a company. So into this, just to tell you, like again, SWOT analysis is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. So you will be able to identify what strengths a company is holding and what weaknesses a company is holding. So what are going to be their threats, what are going to be their challenges. So we will be just writing all these things. So let's just say SWOT: strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. We need to write 5 pointers, right? But for projects, if you want, you can decrease it because now we have changed the section. So assuming I'll be writing only 4 pointers right now. So what are going to be the 4 pointer? First, I'll talk about the strengths. So I'll say analyzed 20 plus internal and external factors. Okay, I'll just once again do it. So what we can do is we can just simply say it conducted a comprehensive research on XYZ company. And so now XYZ company is fairly mentioned. You can enter any name over here. It can be Google, it can be Meta, it can be Facebook, any. And how you did it? So evaluating, let us say 20 plus, 20 plus. What 20 plus now? 20 plus internals and external factors. What those factors are, if you want to wish, you can always to just help you out that you are standing out using 20 plus internals and external factors. Now what we will be using now is we will be now helping with what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what are the opportunities and threats. So what I'll be doing is identified 15 plus key strengths, making Google, or let us say XYZ company, a standout in the market. So if you have seen, like, I'm using a bold font, but don't use it. I'll unbold it so that we are able to match things. So yeah, identified 15 plus key strengths, making XYZ company a standout in the market. You can also try to explain the strengths. One or two you can explain very well. So what can be a strength is that they're research oriented. They love to research about things. They create a pod culture in themselves. So identified 15 plus key strength, making XYZ company stand out in the market, like pod culture. So okay, so this is one of their strengths. Proceeding further, let us say, let's talk about threats and weaknesses. So uh, I'll use the keyword or the action verb as highlighted 20 plus potential threats to the company, such as, let us say, any XYZ startup is currently building, which will be able to take over, or any AI is going to come into the market. So let us say the threat is lack of technical advancements. I'm done with my another pointer. I'll proceed further. What can be my another pointer is, now I need to mention about what is going to be my team size. What was my team size? Was I the only one working on this project, or were there any friends of me working on it? So what I'll do in this case, I collaborated with four analysts, or you can say four potential co-workers or students, because it's going to be a major project, and to create a detailed report highlighting. Now you can always highlight, or you can always talk about the strategies of the stakeholders, or to help you understand what were their business model. So right now I'll be writing as collaborated with the four potential students to create a detailed report on the success of XYZ company. As simple as that. Next thing, what I'll do is, because I'm using that format, that five pointers, elaboration and everything. So I'll be putting a five, again, the fifth pointer. My fifth pointer can be achieved. Uh, it can be satisfaction. It can be your ranking. You can always talk about your ranking. So achieved a grade of, let us say, 9.5 or 9.6 while submitting the report. Or if you do not want to mention something like this, feel free to talk about the threats, or feel free to talk about the knowledge you have gained. So gained, let us say I'm using it, gained expertise over identifying and analyzing. Or you can always talk about the improvements if you wanted to put it on a positive note. For example, gained expertise over identifying potential threats in the success of a company. So that's what I all did in my project. If you want to put your engineering one, you can feel free to put it. Not, it's okay. So we are done with the introduction section, the skill section, the work experience section, the project one. I usually recommend that you proceed further with at least two projects, so that you are having more keywords. So process is going to be very simple. I'll not do the things or do the efforts for her. I'll simply paste it. So if you're able to see, I'm able to get another description for a project. For you guys, what you can do is, always just when you are going to copy paste, you put your second project as, let us say, uh, any major project, whatever you have done so far. So digital marketing, on digital marketing you did a project on what company you did, or digital marketing practices is going to be your project title. Where you performed it, let us say you are into a top IIM or somewhere, you can put it like that. Or for what organization you did, you can always explain it. So SWOT analysis is on XYZ company. I forgot to mention over here, you also mentioned at your college level, let us say you did. So we are at XYZ college. I'll put XYZ college over here. Simply in the similar fashion, I'll be putting it XYZ college over here. I'll be backing my dates, will be formatting it once again. And with that note, I'm done with both of my projects now. So quickly, what I'll try to do is, I'll try to rephrase all the pointers over here with respect to digital marketing. So worked on social media engagement for an XYZ company, understood the best practices of SEO, SMM, Meta Ads, and Google Ads, let us say, hypothetically. Tried to work upon running real-time advertisements for my personal branding using the research and generated a traffic of, let us say, 32,000 or 23,000, whatever it is. So I did it in my project, and it is clearly showing me that I have also tried to implement my learnings onto my personal branding. In what all things you can do in major projects, like worked or understood or learned about backlinking. So you can always deep dive into things, cost per lead, CTR. So, or you can use, you try to add keywords over here. So when you're going to write keywords, learned about backlinking, CPL, that is cost per lead, CTR, or other metrics, whatever they are going to be, and other metrics under whatever your time frame was, or in a team of whatever you now want to lock it by a number. So learned about backlinking, CPL, CTR, and other metrics while working on my personal brand. Now we are done with 1, 2, 3, 4 pointers. What can be my fifth pointer? Uh, let's just try to emphasize upon how we were able to uh, generate this thing into our social media part, or what all things we were able to get it. So let me just quickly think. In digital marketing practice, we have talked about the social media engagement of XYZ company. We have understood the best practices, that is SEO, SMM, meta ads, Google ads. There are multiple other things, but again, coming to the part, I also tried to run real-time advertisements. So I believe that's one section which we can always include is writing blogs. So you can always try to enter your, so write or written or worked, let us say, worked upon 20 plus blogs and posted them over. Now it's going to be a channel. It can be your personal portfolio website, or you can use any XYZ website as well. So let us say I used a website called uuu.com. Now this is a website. What you can do is just you can use the hyperlink as well. So worked upon 20 plus blogs and posted them over. Let us say I called it a website. Over website, what you can do always, again, click on the website, click on the link, and you can always put your hyperlink to your blog so that the people are easily able to open up your blogs. Now I'm done with projects. It's time for me to enter the another section. Now the, again, one of the most important section, what that is called the certifications. What I'll do again, I'll simply do it to minus 1.50. I'll put it center align, and this time I will be writing certifications. Now, what all certifications I have done so far? Do we need to elaborate them? Yes, we can, if we are lacking space, or if you are having a lot of space which is left in your resume. You can always elaborate about the certification. Now, usually, what process I follow? So, I'll be going to next sentence. I'll put it to left align, and what I'll do, I'll write my certification. So, what is my certification? What I have done so far? Assuming I'm a marketing person doing MBA, so I did the project on SWOT analysis only. Sorry, the certification on SWOT analysis itself. SWOT analysis. What is my issuing organization? Issuing organization is XYZ Private Limited. The best thing is you can write this part certificate, and you can create a hyperlink too by going into insert link. You click on insert link, and you will just upload all your certificates to one Google Drive and put that link, that view access link over here, and it will really be looking nice, because anyone, when they are going to click on the certificate, they will be redirected to your certificate. What was your completion date? I did it in June 2024. Then the another certification is, what I did is Lean Six Sigma white belt, black belt, whatever, white belt certification. From where I did, again, I did from XYZ. and so I'll write certificate. So when I did this, I did it in June 2023. My certification section is also completed. What I'll do next is I'll insert horizontal line. Now you see the horizontal line is going to the next page, which means my first page lower margin can be slightly increased. So I'll click at the end and I'll find at the left screen where my bottom margin is, and I'll try to put it maximum as much as possible. And what I'll also do is I'll increase my top margins if I have room for it. So I'll drag it bit to the top, and now I'll be able to get more space. Now, which section we are missing out? We are missing out the section which is called education. Now, education, if you want to put it, just only put two major. So your MBA and your bachelor's will work fine. If you want to put your 10 12th, feel free, because if you are having space or something, feel free to just drop your education. But yeah, for now I'll be writing, let's just say, come to my left screen, reduce the font size to 12, masters in business administration. From what university I'm doing? I'm doing from XYZ university. Then my start date and my end date, that is, my semester got started from August 2023 to, and what is going to be my passing year? My passing year is going to be August, June, July, August, whatever it's going to be, depends upon college to college. So for now I'll put June 2025. It's a 2 years of program that I'm doing. So again, I'll put it extreme right. Then my next degree, what it was Bachelor's of Engineering. I did with mechanical, again, from where I did XYZ University. You want to put your locations and all, feel free. So you can always just talk about your location if you're left with space. Um, why again, my semester started so in 2019 and it got ended in June 2023. And here we are. So I'll try to reduce the size now. We are able to get a skeleton of our resume, how to get it. So what we can do is we can unbold these. You do not need to just use the bold thing. And all the relevant section, the introduction section is that, the skill section is that. We're able to find the work experience, we are able to find the projects, we are able to find certifications, and then we are having education. So we have created a resume which is completely doc. Now, what I want to tell you is it optimized? So if you are going to use several softwares which are available into the market, there's a high probability that it will be better or it will be performing better than your previous one, but it is optimized? No. So how to optimize it? We will be using another session to do the very same. With that note, thank you so much for creating this. In the next section, we will be able to understand how to optimize it.